Here's something that's really important, guys, is you can do things audibly or inaudibly. And I'm going to show you here in a second an inaudible moment where you won't hear what came out of my mouth, but you're going to feel what came out of my mouth. Welcome to the Consciousness of the Way. My humble, divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy doody. Little bodge, love, little bodge. And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn, and we thought we'd add a little colloquial, whatever it is. Just a few little Australianisms here on this channel just to take you back in time. I'm pretty sure if I had my mother around, she'd probably level me up on some real old, Australian slang. But in any case, mad lads and ladettes, let's get down to it. Another day in paradise, an incredible day for the Tao.
Amazing day for consciousness.
Yes, as always. And when you're fighting that smile like we are right now, that euphoric feeling, the inner trigger, right? That's that trigger that, what we're going to do today on the podcast is go deeper into the understanding and the profound mechanisms that go into what we call the sacred infinite flower, one petal or strand of that particular activation. So we're going to open what you would conventionally call biologically your heart. Yeah, open your heart, love. Open it right up, I'll right do you. You mad lad. Yeah. And someone's going to go, that sounds a little English to me, not Australian. Another shrimp on the barbie, mate. So, yeah, the things that make you happy, just like, how Jade smiling just opens my heart up and makes me happy. Just like someone that you care about, generally speaking, can evoke this inner sense of self, this whole feeling that you create, right? And, if you look at any sort of indigenous ancient practices of cultivation, it starts with what we have defined here and we remind people of, the truth teller. In a Hindu practice, it might be the fourth chakra. In a Taoist practice, it's the fifth energy center. In the observation of all things universe, it's the epicenter of the rainbow. And, this is the type of stuff that makes the magic, right? The magic of your life, the magic of all things. Your truth teller will amplify. And just like we're talking about it, there is this incredible seed of energetic charge that comes with it. And yes, I might be doing this with a selfish undertone and motivation because I want to pick up Jade's energy a little bit. She was feeling a little lower in vibration, and I was like, what better way than to share with our audience, all those 126ers out there, and give Jade a pick-me-up, a supercharge, and then supercharge you at home, because that's what we do. We're givers. We're doers. We're not don'ters. You know what I'm saying? Copper.
It is kind of funny. It's like when you think of that moment where you laugh the most or just this uncontrollable giggle or silliness, and it's in that moment, and then you try to explain it to somebody else and they're like, are you okay? Like, I don't get it. Or like an inside joke. You try to explain it to somebody else and it's like, it is that feeling. It doesn't, you have to be there, or, you know what I mean? It's like, well, what were you guys laughing about? Oh, I don't know. She spilled her glass of wine. Well, why was that funny? It was like a moment. Like it's all encapsulated in that energy, in the whole thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Trying to explain it to someone else who wasn't there, they're like, pfft.
Well,
You're
it's a
just.
right, and it's a trigger, right? Because guess what? You turn that frown upside down, even from a physiological perspective, it takes 22 muscles to generate that beaming smile over there that Jade keeps to project every day that we come in here to the podcast that makes someone else happy outside of myself. Just that inner smile that we speak of, that inner rainbow that you're generating, that inner sacred infinite flower that's being oscillated and replicated and cultivated just from that one entry point. And it takes you 44 muscles in your face to generate a frown. I don't know. Less or more. Work that one out on a physiological perspective. What do you want to be involved with? Do you want to work harder or do you want to work easier? Because, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Glass half empty, half full. You want to have a charmed life. You want to be euphoric and have this effortless action, the woo way that we talk about, that is always part of the very essence of all Taoists, and that chasing what we consider the metaphysical dragon of the ultimate merging of yin and yang energies, creating the state of being that we speak of, the Wu Ji, the stillness between the breath in and the breath out, yin and yang. I don't know. I'm going to go for less is more. Always have, always will. And generally speaking, I'm pretty sure less effort, more action. Effortless action. Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down here? And so, just that in itself, it's infectious. If you look in the direction of Jade, you're going to feel compelled for the inner smile that we speak of, the sacred infinite flower that is evoked, that chemistry. And just so you know, on a neurological upgrade, this has everything to do with another interconnection that you have with the sensory neurons that you have within your heart, that are cells that you find are 40,000 cells that also are within your brain. So you have these landmines of this neurological network that is replicated only in your brain, which we thought was only in our brain, but we know is actually in our heart. So you have a little brain in your heart. Little brain on Brad. And so when she gives me this incredible rippling effect from a quantum physics model, a thought, feeling, and emotion, generating wave particle to matter, realized within the blood that is the messenger, and it evokes the gene expression that is realized within consciousness as we know it, as that 0 point energy, the field. This is all happening instantaneously as you are one, all is one, one is all. You are the field is you. She creates that from a physiological, neurological aspect, if you want to break it down to lesser than a quantum model, which everything is interconnected, the entanglement that we speak of. She smiles at me. Her aura has a rippling effect. That message is a packet of information, thought, feeling, and emotion that is generated into this equal to or greater than message that is in the field that we're all interconnected with, that 0 point energy that you cannot see, that is the Planck field, that is the plasma that is interconnecting everything, that makes it possible that you can be an empath and feel the emotions of other people. This all comes from that rippling effect. And from a physiological, neurological perspective, the electromagnetic field that is generated by both of us, because if it wasn't taking place, we would both be dead. That electromagnetic field is the interconnection. And from a psychologist, a mentalist, neuroscientist, more a psychologist, mentalist, sort of like hypnotist perspective, it's what we call a psychodynamic loop. And more commonly to the average run-of-the-mill car salesman, it's called rapport. and you either have it or you don't, and that's from a neurological aspect of when you set eyes on somebody, and we've spoken about this before, you can literally hate or love somebody in a fraction of a second because you've already programmed what we call the RAS, the reticular activative system, which is basically a really fancy word for your unconscious. It's already set in motion. You have created that rippling effect, and it is realized. So you have that filter. And guess what? The truth teller can give you the information instantaneously. What's best for you? You've already programmed it. It's taking place. That neural network that's in your heart is in your brain, is in your brain, is in your heart. Those cells have already been realized. The sensory neurons have already been activated. So you now have a set. Your heart's going to tell you, I like this person, I don't like this person. You've programmed it that way. You have. So now all of a sudden, you have a situation where I've done this before with people. I'll grab some person who has a certain belief system. I'll take 2 piles of photos of famous, well-to-do celebrities that have a similar belief system or don't believe in what they're believing in. Let's just generally talk about something as common that would be emotional and thought-provoking, something as simplistic as a humanistic mechanism of complete despair and misery. How about, thought leaders on politics? Yay. So, get somebody, anybody, have an opinion or don't have an opinion. For some reason, this seems to be the case. People don't even have an opinion, but they do. How is that possible? How is that possible to have an opinion when you don't have an opinion? Sifu, what does that even mean? It means that you have already been programmed. And, I called my daughter on this the other day. She said something, oh, this is scary. And I said, I know your mother and I never taught you to believe this is scary. Where did you come up with the idea that this was scary? It's just an object that she referred to. She goes, I don't know. I just sort of said it. I said, well, that would be misinformed for you to just instantly put this object into the category of scary because you just said so. You had to have learnt it somewhere. And that comes down to, the peripheral, do we have sensory perception? Earth to NASA, NASA to Earth, Houston, we have a problem. And this is what happens where people can have these evoking moments of deja vu, whether it's from an actual past life that we've already validated here on this channel as being part of the quantum model and realizing that we are moving faster than light speed, making it completely possible for someone to read future, present, and past information from any individual's field. We have already made it validated through peer-reviewed science that these things are absolute mechanisms. This is not just euphoria. Let me tell you, euphoria, mysticism, spirituality, religion, these things are validated and have been for thousands of years before we came up with the idea of measuring things by science. So I am not going to sit here and be limited by someone telling me, well, if it's not a scientific fact, then it's not real. Well, unfortunately, then you are very limited, my friend, because if you don't believe in if you don't believe in what I believe in, then you don't believe in yourself. Your belief system is as valuable as mine, and mine is valuable as yours. And moreover, you are me, I am you. Dismissing someone else's belief system is dismissing yourself. Mic drop.
Yeah, and then the environment plays such a big role. Just the energy you feel when you go to a hospital. Mm-hmm. If you're visiting somebody or if you're going there for yourself or something, you can kind of just think about going to a hospital and you're kind of already got this ooh, or I just don't feel good. It makes me feel
right.
There's sickness, there's sadness, there's, sterile and fear and all these other emotions that come up with it versus going to a wedding or something, maybe a graduation, a kind of more a birthday party, a joyous type of celebration. Both groups of people, different environments, but they do that in itself has already had an ingrained kind of programming of like what your experience is, what happened, and how you associate with that, whether it's positive, negative,
Right.
that energy is within you just thinking about it.
Right. And that's part of the programming. So on a much deeper level, you're setting yourself up for a certain state, and that fear is an emotion that has a rippling effect on your physiology. So, what does that mean, Sifu? Well, just the mechanism, fight or flight, just the programming, the default programming of a human being puts you in a situation where it switches off your immune system, all the blood is pulled out of your stomach into your extremities, and you are ready to fight or flight. You are ready to be the next average criminal from San Francisco that steals less than $1,000 from the local Walmart. Run, baby. Run. Sifu, that sounded kind of random. Yeah, it was a little random. But, I'm trying to give you an example of how these mechanisms work. You have a situation where this was designed for survival. The cycle of survival for a human being since the beginning of its conception 200,000 years ago is quite simple. Survive, reproduce. That's it. That's it. I mean, and now all of a sudden you create complexity. Survive, reproduce, hold down your job at McDonald's, pick up your Uber job when you get off, do another 47 hours a week, bringing it up to 120, realize that you have too many financial commitments, that you can't even make enough money to pay your bills, and then through the tension and the stress of having to juggle all those things, realize that you don't have a life, never will, you don't know what a vacation is, and so the stresses of 2023 come down to lack of, as in every aspect of your mental, emotional state, putting you into this mechanism. And what happens is when you get into this fight or flight, your body has to create homeostasis. It creates cortisol, and it neutralizes the alchemical response of all the stressor hormones that are produced to prime you into a position of survival. And so then you have to draw that down. Now, if you have absent of cortisol because you burnt your whole nervous system out due to the fact that you're no longer running away from a predator, your predator is late bills, no friends on Facebook, lost followers on Instagram, life sucks as we know it, you are going to replicate this on a daily basis. And what happens is ultimately, from your hormonal cascade perspective, you only have so much juice, as we've spoken about before. Jade and I have talked about constitution, what you're brought into this world with. From a Taoist, we're talking about the Jing, Heaven's Gate at the base, the back of your skull, the occiput, and then we have the Jade Emperor's Palace, which is basically where your kidneys lie at the back, which is the posterior chain of your physical body. That's where the juice comes from. You know what I'm saying? So your kidneys are determining your life force. And when they diminish and they go down, so therefore goes down your constitution. Now, as a Taoist, we have endless amounts of rituals and practices to generate high levels of energy that surpass your constitution that you were born into this world with. So that means you have a certain amount. Let's just say you're born in with 80%. You want to level up to 100? You just apply some of these simple practices and you will level that up. You'll go from 100 to 200 to 1,000 to 2,000, and you'll continue to generate and level up, and you're like superhuman. That means that incredible harnessing of that excess, you're using this container to harness this energy, using your attention intention through Nigong to be able to laser focus this energy and ripple it as the field into what you perceive as the universe, moreover your consciousness, and do things that most people would consider fantasy, manifestation, healing, magic, this is what takes place. So when you generate that life force, this is how you continue to level up. But fear is the emotion that draws that energy from that particular channel, from that particular organ. And of course, moreover, from a physiological perspective, you draw the energy from your stomach, the blood from your stomach, which makes your immune system basically shut off. And you put yourself in a position to be susceptible to the physical ailments that you are so afraid of. So it's like a double negative. When you're afraid that you're going to get sick, guess what finds you? You get sick because you are just perpetuating and replicating through a thought, feeling, and emotion, and you're manifesting your reality.
Yeah, you're like the magnet, and you're just
That's
pulling
all.
that. You're
Well,
pulling that fear
right.
right to you, when that's the one thing that you're like, wait, no, I'm afraid of
Right.
it
Well,
so
that's the one
much.
thing that attacks your physical constitution, and then an energetic, and then ultimately, you have to level up to a spiritual to override all of it. And so,
No, I was smiling because I was thinking, oh, Taoists, we're like the doomsday preppers of energy. We just collect so much of it that we
whoa,
just have this endless supply that we know at any point, whenever we need to tap in, we're just have hordes and hordes and hordes of it,
right,
just
right,
waiting to be able to use wherever you want
right,
it. We kind of are. We're like
right.
these doomsday preppers. It's like we have so much of it, and we know how to get so much of it, that it's like, again, anytime you kind of do go maybe into that experience where all of a sudden fear does come up, it doesn't affect you because you've stored so much of it and trained yourself in so much of it that you can easily go, okay, it's here for a couple seconds, it's here for a couple hours. Now I know how to
And move it
disperse of
out.
it, move it out right away, and it doesn't linger.
Right, right, and that energy and you storing of that energy and being able to access the 0 point energy through the singular, through the truth teller, and that's really what we're talking about today, and that's what we want to give you an experience in, is evoking that sacred infinite flower within the sacred infinite garden, within the earth, which is the energy center that beholds the power of the magnetism that we use, that is the epicenter of that earth, middle dantian. And so when you open the flower within the garden, within the earth, there's a lot of power there. And then, of course, we'll use a few codes today. We'll use a portal, and then we will really play and evoke those energies and have you high as a kite on, a dopamine, oxytocin, put you in a state where, nitric oxide, put you in a state where you're so euphoric, you're giggly, you're bubbly, you're just happy. And that's what that inner smile that we speak of is all about, because that opens the effect, right? So it's literally like a 3-stage evolution. It's earth, sacred infinite garden, sacred infinite flower, blammo. You have all systems are go. And this is where we talk about the power. And once you create that, this is what we call that synchronizing of the heart and the brain. And then you have ultimate control. You are the maestro. You are the master keeper, creator of your reality, by being able to move through as the field. Because once you're recognized as that coherent expression of all this synergy and all that, over 1,500 biological upgrades in chemistry that's taking place when you create that synergy. I can't tell you how many feel-good chemicals are being produced when you are at that precipice, when you are at that, and it evokes a brainwave that basically encompasses you as conscious 100%, envelops the whole brain. This is go time. This is now you are able to create the brainwave, high gamma brainwave, theta and alpha, all instantaneously being able to be pliable, creative, and a badass mofo that can absorb anything at will. And that is the magic of the Way 126. visual, audible experience, creating that kinesthetic charge that is the go time for you to realize you are the field is you. That power is second to none. And it's realized through your neurology that by the biological upgrade that you are generating is thousands of years old. But we'll be doing that long. And you will realize it, because ultimately, when you synchronize with these frequencies, with these energies, with this vibration, we give you the codes. We got the codes. We got codes that will instantly access. And like I said this a couple of days ago, but it'll be up by tonight or tomorrow. We'll put up our portal, and you guys can pick it up at will, just like people do with our book and other products, to add to your experience, because it's second to none, guys. Second to none. So accessing that truth teller is now the biggest component, right? And me talking about it generates it instantaneously. What's going on here? Why? How is that? How is that? And, of course, now Jade is starting to get a little bit of a pick-me-up. You're feeling a little bit, a little bit more buzzy.
Little buzzy.
Little buzzy, Whereas, she's had a very long day, very productive, does a lot of things. And, sometimes you need to be reminded of how powerful you are. Mm-hmm. And that's that moment of empowerment when you realize that you are the field. So, you don't get caught in the trap of believing that you need to use your own energy from this physical body. The universe is you. You are the universe. Use the universe. Don't use, a couple of Duracell batteries that are going to run out. That's critical that you have that realization. And so when we talk about these frequencies, we're talking about a biological upgrade that you will experience in this transformation. So there's a set process, and we will use respiration, we will use Nigong, Qigong, and I will create a portal, which you can already feel right now. It's starting to percolate, and I'll generate that portal using the sword fingers. And of course, when you do and you go and pick up the portal through our website, there'll be instructions on how to develop it, how to draw it up. There's a set process that just levels up the energy. And I'm going to put in several codes in here today that, will be realized. And of course, anyone wanting to use this portal today can come back to this video at any point and use it at will. It's instantly realized as you've been exposed to this material. So have you the energy. And that's the power of it. So, yes.
Exciting.
It is exciting. So, was there any other things that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I think it's all just important and just continually reminding. I think we can still go over little things while you're going through the process of everything.
Yeah.
Just to get a better understanding.
Well, what's really important is understanding that you can have your eyes closed or open during this process. Understand this, it's taking place regardless of where you are in your own consciousness. So the rippling effects as you start to put it in. So just as here's something that's really important, guys, is you can do things audibly or inaudibly. And I'm going to show you here in a second an inaudible moment where you won't hear what came out of my mouth, but you're going to feel what came out of my mouth. And that's part of the power of the synergy of the frequencies, the numbers, the symbols, the letters. This is all integrated into everything that is what you perceive as your reality. It's all happening right now, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. So, when we talk about this stuff, like, so for example, if I just draw this up, and you guys are going, what is he doing? But there is a fundamental shift. And I'll just add a little bit. And there's this fundamental shift that's going on. Well, that portal is open now. Now watch this. You can watch my lips move, but you're not going to hear what I'm saying. What do you notice when I do that?
It's like a shift and change again, like an intensity.
Right, right. And what's most important is for you to acquire this shift. It's going on at all times. This ability to access higher realms, higher frequencies, and you level up. And with that, then that levels up your biology because your nervous system is upgraded as you go through these frequencies. And just as you do that, and then I tumble that over. And, you're like, hang on, this is kind of weird. He's moving his hands in front of him, but I'm starting to feel this
Kind
as
of doughy.
very, very, very doughy. And so part of the sacred infinite flower, that's part of the sacred infinite garden, that's part of earth, which is the middle dantian. And the middle dantian has 81 different chambers. Now these chambers are all light chambers, and they all evoke a different frequency of light, all 81 of them. Once they're all switched on, you get to a whole nother game, right? But if I just, like, for example, right, for this particular exercise today, we're going to switch on 18 of these lights, which all have their individual signature and frequency. And so as we've opened the portal, as we're doing the dough, I'm going to activate, and you can experience it with your eyes open or closed, activate chamber 1, chamber 2, chamber 3, chamber 4, chamber 5, chamber 6, chamber 7, chamber 8, chamber 9, chamber 10, chamber 11, chamber 12, chamber 13, chamber 14, chamber 15, chamber 16, chamber 17, and chamber 18. Whew. Now, you guys, like probably Jade, you keep your eyes closed and you're immersed into this energy, right? So now I'm going to just add a little bit of a higher frequency, and I'm going to add a frequency from 1 to 9. I'm going to add that instantaneously. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Add the frequency. From 10 to 18. Add the frequency. That's it. Now, you've got those first 18 chambers absolutely on like Donkey Kong, and it's realized through the frequency shift, each one having its own signature. Now, with that evokes the sacred infinite garden and the sacred infinite flower. Now I'm going to just amplify all those with a simple respiration technique. You guys don't have to do anything. You can explain what you're feeling internally at the end next time, but you are going to experience it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink. Level. Expand. Now, with these open, and yes, you do draw your attention to the how heavy your chest is, and that is completely related to the infrastructure that we're evoking within the sacred infinite flower, and using those first 81 chambers, having sunk that energy deep within each chamber, using each frequency, each signature, you are now will oscillate it, and will have it rotate in a clockwise fashion. There we go. Whew. Now, when we're doing this, you have a highly pliable access to what we call is the black hole energy, the singular. And if I rotate it a little bit faster, take it up 3 times. That stillness in the middle there is the pure juice, guys. And your feeling of like a tornado that's spinning around inside you is part of the effect of this black hole energy, the singular, the 0 point energy that we speak of. I'm just going to spin a little faster. Whew. Another 3 times, 6 times, 9 times. And that turning within you is a greater effect. Let it spin, and now we're expanding the portal 3 times, 6 times, 9 times. Free flow of heaven to earth energy now. Sit in that. There we go. Oh my goodness. This will continue until you obtain the biological upgrade that is necessary for this particular exercise. We're going to go deeper now as you are experiencing this fire hydrant effect. What will take place now is I'm going to go deep inside the sacred infinite flower, which is your truth teller, which gives you the magic. So you access those 50 trillion cells, evoking your ability to create a thought, feeling, and emotion that generate the alchemical response, the rippling effect, where you can switch on and off gene expression, and you're able to create those chemicals. So we're going to create oxytocin. We're going to create dopamine. 3 times dopamine. Now, yes, hang on a second. How is it that you say that, Sifu, and it materializes? I feel just this expansion and energy. You're welcome. And now we're going to create nitric oxide. And we're going to concentrate that right in the center using this particular signature. There we go. Oh my goodness. Now, as you're experiencing the fire hydrant, you're experiencing the truth teller's activation as we are evoking these chemicals, these alchemical responses, these biological responses that are taking place as you open that. Now, all I'm going to get you to do as someone experiencing this at home is to slowly crack a smile and watch how fast that concentrates deep within your truth teller. I'm going to count it down, and as I count down to 0, then you will start to crack your own smile, and you be the one to tell me what you experience. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Smile a little bit more. Smile a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Now sit with that as we concentrate it right in the center of your middle dantian. Heavier, heavier, denser, more expansive, and replicate. Smile again. Smile again. One more time. Smile again. Oh my goodness. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen and ladies. Now I'm going to concentrate that energy. Concentrate it even more. As you can see and feel the pressure as I bring my hands closer together. Concentrate, 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 concentrate. And isn't that interesting how, oh my goodness, if I watch Sifu's hands move, the energy inside my chest is moving at the same time. You're welcome. Concentrate that even more. Concentrate that even more. Now I'm going to use the respiration to take it up even more. Oh yeah. Now we got it right there. Energy center. And sink. Let it take over as it's giving you a biological upgrade. And as you can see, I'm moving with the energy. Let the energy move through you. Let it ripple. Let it oscillate. Let it expand. Do whatever it needs to do to generate that cellular upgrade that we are speaking of. Sit with it. There we go. And only when it's done will you find that complete stillness while it's moving through you and it's replicating, it's elevating your biological upgrade. Let it move through you. Let it do what it needs to do. And with that rippling effect, I want you to follow my lead with the respiration, concentrating it even more as you're sitting in this furnace of energy through this portal. We're going to take 3 breaths in, sipping through the nose, and then 3 breaths out, long through the mouth. Follow my lead in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Now sit there with that. This furnace, this heater. Let it do what it does. There we go. Let it create what it creates. Let it be what it is. All is one, one is all. And as you've activated that respiration, your breath is so sensitive. You're like that amber of a cigarette. As you breathe, heighten the sensitivity of the energetics, heighten the sensitivity of the physiology, heighten the sensitivity of the spirit. And just sit with that. Let that be. And at home, if you hear me from a distance, let my voice echo and let it dissipate and disappear as you continue your biological upgrade. If you are present and you are slowly finishing your healing, let that take place and slowly bring yourself to this present moment at your own pace, realizing there is no right or wrong. There just is. What you're experiencing is for you and for you only. Let it materialize, let it realize instantaneously. Very good. My goodness. And for everyone in the audience, the portal does not close until you have received the completion of that upgrade. And that's for you to determine. Your unconscious will give you that. Very good. So there's many factors that are going on here. As we've taken a deep dive into that middle energy center, creating a whole new awareness, evoking that energetic body. And that is your intuition. That is what you guys use to give you that direct source information. And that's the maestro that creates. And just as you listen to my voice, smile and feel that electricity with that magnetism. There we go. And that phosphorus white light expanding. Oh my goodness. Even bigger now. So that fine-tuning of your truth teller only makes your intuition even stronger than it was before, giving you 1,000 times faster access to that processor, giving you 1,000 times faster realization of who you really are. And it's never wrong, always giving you the higher purpose, the higher reason, the perfect answer for whatever question you're asking that's necessary for you right now. We'll expand that a little bit more. Expand again, expand again. Sifu, how is it that you say that and it just happens? That's the power of the interconnection we speak of. Oh yeah. It's happening. And it happens even before I say it, which freaks me out, but it has everything to do with your neurology, the interconnection of these energies that we speak of. And we're all one. That's why what could be processed as a thought is generated as a feeling that you are realizing through sound. Yeah. And as you see me sort of bobbling and floating, this is the sort of energy floating through my whole physical body. And this is what's taking place within you. Realize you are now leveled up on a whole new realization. A new cellular regeneration has just taken place. my goodness. Now, if you just put your intention, and we draw that energy down to your lower dantian and concentrate it right at your tailbone, you tell me what goes on. Oh my goodness. There it is. Oh my goodness. Sit with that, be with that, know with that. This is the true essence of who you really are. My goodness. Realize the power as you regulate, as you climatize, as you synchronize to be in the perfect state that you need to be in right now from this portal. My goodness, it's like I'm just sitting on a fire hydrant of energy. Oh my. And as you emotionally open up, and for whatever reason, any thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are evoked from this access point, they will be instantly realized and dissolved and returned back from where they came. This is a perfect incantation to level up, to heal up, to realize what's most important. And so, when you don't attach it to a place, person, or thing, it's nothing more than what it is, what it seems. It's a thought, feeling, and emotion of anything. And when it is realized, and using that incantation that I just gave you, it is dissolved and returned from where it came. Meaning it recalibrates whatever fractal pattern that was realized in, and it is dissolved, and for you to create a new pattern of like attracts like, as you are the magnet, you are the truth teller. So the more you create, the more you have the glass half full, the more that will be realized in your experience. Oh yeah. Yeah. And with everyone at home, one more big smile. And as you can tell how interconnected you are, that coherence. So when you smile, that drops that sync right into the middle dantian. That's why it feels so much of a pull. They don't call this an inner smile for no reason. And that alchemical response is realized in the rainbow, in the frequency, in the energy, in the vibration, in the signature, instantaneously. Smile one more time. Turn it over. There we go. Oh my goodness. And that fluid channel that has been generated right now is yours. You've created it. That's the synchronization between the sun and the earth and the moon. Pure power, pure source, baby. Right here, right now. You are the magnet of your reality. You are the magnet of your manifestation. So as you guys just climatize with that incredible transformation, as that portal continues to replicate, oscillate, generate what is necessary for your biological upgrade, and that pure source energy from your truth teller, using that sacred secret code that I released inaudibly, let that be realized, and you will return to your state of consciousness, a whole new you, because of that power. This is the 0 point energy, the singular, the black hole that the Taoists have been using for thousands of years. The sacred infinite flower within the sacred infinite garden, within the sacred infinite earth, rippling. That's right. That's right. Let that be with it. As Jade experiences her upgrade, and you at home, from us to you, I realized unconditional love and acceptance for who you really are. Pure source, the field, the Tao, the universe. Realize instantaneously. Let that be so. Let that be true. Let that be known. That's right. And on that note, I will thank my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade. And I want to thank you, all of you, part of the Way community, and all that you share with us. Share this unconditional love and acceptance for you as you do for us. And we are forever grateful. And that density, that energy that we speak of, that we feel right now, is that collective, that community, that oneness that we speak of. I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn, and I will see you on the next one, guys.